So I'm gonna just ask the question because people are afraid to ask it, but they thinking it. Are we just saying Steph's still a top 5 point guard because of his legacy?
I was thinking.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Are we not seeing the clear regression?
It's definitely going the other way. But I don't think this is
conversations.
Okay,
We did it with Bron.
He's no longer definitively a top 3 point guard. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. He's not.
Like
I don't think he's definitely.
Okay.
Who's regressed more from last year to this year? Steph or hold on, Donovan Mitchell?
I don't think Donovan Mitchell's regressed.
I don't think
his numbers have regressed tremendously.
And his team has progressed.
Okay,
yeah,
so what is going on with the Steph Curry narrative? Is his team not very good right now?
Clearly regressed. I think Steph is.
So Steph needs good teammates to play better.
Everyone needs good teammates to play better.
Yes, he does. Ron, he's older too. He's older too, Ron. Only that.
Steph is still playing well. Like Steph is still
okay, but do you guys remember the season where? Do you guys remember the season where the next season they drafted James Wiseman and Steph Curry averaged 30? Yeah, they got the #1 overall pick. And Steph was averaging like 30.
That was James Wiseman's rookie.
That was 4 years ago.
Okay, well, they were fresh up.
2021. Yeah,
that's the point I'm making, no chill. So I'm saying he didn't have good teammates then, and he still got off. He don't got good teammates now,
and he was much younger.
I get Ron's point is that he's regressed. That's Ron's point. That's the point. He's regressed. You guys saying he was younger? That's the point. He's falling off. He's regressing. That's what we're saying. He's regressing. Steph is getting worse. I don't think he's last year we would say the top 3 point guards, Luka, Shea, and Steph. Whatever order you have, Luka, Shea, and Steph.
Yeah.
Now I don't. I think it's Luka and Shea, and Steph is no longer in that top group. I don't think he's just definitively top 3 anymore.
Well, Mars, last year I think I might have put Jalen Brunson over Steph.
Yeah, you did, and you got some pushback for that. And you were saying, well, if I'm playing better now, I'm better than you until you prove otherwise. And I understand what you were saying, but I was like, Steph has still shown me enough to where, like, in a playoff setting, in a series setting, I think Steph can still produce at this high level. It's like, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I think Steph is regressing a little, not a little bit. I think Steph is regressing a lot.
They're trying to push Steph out the top 10 right now, y'all.
I wouldn't
should be out. I think he probably should be out the top 10. If I'm being
honest, these young point guards
better than Steph.
I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying he's not top 10. I'm saying that these point guards today are trying to push him out the top 10. They're getting better, and they're trying to get Steph out of there.
Because last year, there's a lot of considering.
I don't know. Steph's turning 37 in 2 months. So let's just put that out there. Like, this is normal.
37 years old.
Turning 37 in 2 months. Like, him regressing is not a diss. He's had a great career.
And to Ron's point, and to Ron's point, I just want to clarify, Ron, because like you just said, he's when you just said, yo, does Steph need good teammates to be good? Well, does he need good teammates to be good today?
Yes.
Yes, because he's older. Did he need good teammates 4 years ago when he was 31, 32 years old? No, because he still was awesome. So I think that's where the disconnect was between you and me. Is he regressing? Is he going the other way? That's natural. He's getting old. No doubt about that. But I don't think that he needs good teammates always to be good. No, I don't think that was the case.
When has he ever succeeded without really good teammates?
Define success.
Deep playoff runs.
Define deep playoff.
Went deep into
the second round.
In the playoffs.
No, that's Daniel Greg. 2013. Did he have good teammates?
Yeah. One was a rookie. Clay was year 2.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, because 2013 they got to the second round.
Draymond was a rookie. Clay was in year 2. Clay was in year 2. Andre Iguodala hadn't shown up yet. Andre Iguodala was not there.
No one's denying that he has taken a step back. I'm just saying he had a couple steps to lose.
I mean, obviously,
like if you put him on Denver right now,
the best point guard in the league. In my opinion.
If you put him on Denver right now in place of Russell Westbrook or Jamal Murray, where he can play off of a superstar, he's right back. So you're comparing Dame to Steph. Dame is not carrying the entire load of the. He's not their best player. So when you get to this stage, like when Clyde Drexler got to this age, it helps. It helps that you play with another superstar, right? So you're still a great player. You just can't shoulder the entire load like LeBron with AD, right? Like playing with Anthony Davis, who was arguably the best player on that championship run, although some people will swear it was LeBron. But Anthony Davis was amazing, and it extends your career, from 35 to 40 to play with that, second star.
I agree. The Warriors are doing.
If you'd have a guy like
really bad job of Steph's last years. Sorry.
Terrible, Moss. They're doing Steph Curry a complete and utter disservice in Golden State, 100%. I said to you, I think this summer that I thought that he might get traded because I thought they were going to be bad. I did. I thought that they were going to be bad. And
call up Washington if I'm Charlotte.
But to your point, Mars. But to your point, Mars, if Steph Curry, okay, I can't definitively say he's a top 3. I still think he's in the top 3. I don't think that there's 5 league guards in the game better than him though. I don't think so.
No, I got now, 6 right here, chill. I got SGA, Luka, Brunson, De'Aaron, Dame, and Trey. That's who I got. Some people will put Darius Garland, LaMelo, Cade, and Halliburton in there too. Some people. John Morant. I got 7. I got 7 because I forgot about Ja. Mm-hmm. And there's so I got 7 for sure, easy. Right. And then I know some people that'll put Darius Garland, LaMelo, and Cade in there as well, and Tyrese Maxey. So if that's the case, I'm not. If that's the case, Steph, and no, I don't got Maxey. I don't got Darius Garland. I don't got LaMelo, and I don't got Cade. But there's some people that do. He's fighting for his life to stay in this top 10 right now. I got 7 definite, chill. I got 7 hands down, easy, no question.
That's tough. I'm gonna float something out there. I'm just testing the waters. If I were to say James Harden is better than Steph at this point,
not gonna do. We can talk about that.
Yeah, is that crazy?
I think as an offensive floor raiser, I would rather take James Harden right now. James Harden has the ability to take a offense that may be lesser or may not have the pieces and raise them up to a level that you wouldn't think so, where Steph may not have the on-ball playmaking capabilities that James Harden has. I don't think Steph is going to be able to run around screens all game as a number 1 option like James Harden would be able to floor raise an offense by being a shooter or a pick-and-roll ball handler or isolation creator. So if I want to lead my offense right now with these 2 guys, James Harden isn't crazy.
I do want to throw this out there. Steph still is balling. Like in his last 3 games,
Steph's still really good.
In his last 3 games, he played against Philly. They smacked Philly. This is 3 games ago. He had 30 points and 10 assists.
That was the 8 for 8 from 3, right?
Yeah, and went 8 for 8 from 3. The next game, 26 points, 7 rebounds, no assist. But
he hasn't had an assist in 2 games.
But he went 8 for 12 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3. So he gave you 26 on 12 shots.
Let me
right quick, Pin. The next game, 31 points, 7 rebounds, no assists.
He's good for it. He's good for it.
I'm not taking Trae Young over Steph Curry. I'm not doing that. No.
Okay.
I'm not taking Trae Young over Steph Curry.
Hey, chill.
I'm not.
Now you tripping. Now you tripping.
I'm not.
It's a bunch of other names that I could get, but it's like guys like Trae.
I'm not taking Brunson over Steph Curry. I'm not.
Why?
No. I think that the reason why Steph Curry's game, the only reason why you would is because he's older. That's it. Steph Curry's game in terms of it, and that's the only. I mean, that's a good reason. I'm not gonna argue that, Mars. Yes, that is a good reason because you're older, sure. But Steph Curry's game is aging. It's not aging terribly though. It isn't. And if Curry was in a different space where we can maximize a lot of his skill set, to Penn's point, where we can put somebody different around him, Curry's game still is viable at a high level in this game. The fact that he has to do as much as he has to do on that unit in particular, because he doesn't have a viable secondary scorer on a consistent basis, because he doesn't have the defense that he had a couple of weeks ago, it makes him look a lot different as opposed to Jalen Brunson, who's surrounded by guys like that. He's surrounded by OG Anunoby and Cat and Mikal Bridges, which makes him look a lot better as opposed to if he had just one of those guys, he would look much different. Very much like
Jalen showed it to us when he didn't have them. He showed it. Jalen's been showing it to us when his lineup's been depleted, when his help wasn't there, before the Knicks really actually got good. Jalen been carrying. Jalen has consistently the same things I say about SGA.
Jalen for the last 3 seasons with Andrew Wiggins, Ron. He won NBA championship.
That was the year he was averaging 30. If we can't use the year he averaged 30, we can't use the championship. That was 3 years ago.
But Andrew Wiggins was damn good that year.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole was damn good that year.
They were an elite. Julius Randle was an all-star that year. And Julius Randle was an all-star that year. So, and I know how you feel about Julius Randle, but so what? He was playing with an all-star.
People get really mad at numbers, but honestly, this is why numbers exist. It is to poke holes in stupid narratives like Steph Curry's falling off a cliff. Okay, here's a fun stat for you.
Oh God, his box.
Fun fact.
No, forget the box plus minus. Box plus minus has been elite his whole damn career. I'm not talking about that. No,
smack us over the head with the VORP, Pin. Let's hear it.
I don't give a shit about the VORP. What I'm trying to tell you is right now Steph Curry is playing a career low in minutes, right? If I'm not mistaken, 31 minutes is a career low. The Nuggets, the Memphis Grizzlies and the Warriors are both experimenting with these deeper rotations, and it's something new. It's come from Europe, obviously. It's been very successful over there, and there's been a lot of criticism around it in the NBA, but that's partially because people take these numbers, these per game numbers, and then they run with it, not thinking about the per 100 stats. Okay, so the way we're talking about Steph Curry, you would think he fell off a cliff, right? How many points does Steph Curry average on his career per 100 possessions?
Oh God,
35.2.
Okay,
what's he averaging this year? 35.1. Oh my God, look at the regression. He's averaging about as many points on better efficiency than he did 4 years ago. So really, the only thing that's down is the Warriors' wins and his minutes. That's it.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
I think because
and this is where the eye tests means something. Because yes, the raw points per game averages or per 100 possessions might be similar to where it was in 22, which was a notorious slump year for Stephen Curry, by the way. Let's not let revisionist history fool people into saying he was the best player in the world that year. He wasn't. That was the year where people started questioning if Steph Curry was falling off. Let's remember that correctly, because that's what people were talking about at the time. Then he won a championship, everyone was like, oh, he's the best. No. But anyway, the biggest regression in Steph is not whether or not he can put up points. He can put up points. It's the manner of which he is relying on a singular skill set. Now, that singular skill set is the best skill set maybe any player has ever had, which is his ability to shoot the ball. But he's getting to the rim way less than ever. He's getting to the free throw line way less than ever. His ability to create separation is worse than ever. The fact that he's still able to score as good as he is,
not true.
Not true. Pin, that's definitely
okay.
True.
If you're gonna say, well,
you can see Steph Curry does not look
in his prime. Yes, in his prime. Yes.
I wasn't talking about rookie Steph.
The first 4 years of his career, he got to the line less.
I have to walk everyone through everything.
No, you don't. No, you don't, Mars. We're in a different space. We're in a different space. He's older now, 100%.
Obviously, I'm not talking about the years before he ascended into his prime. When I say worse than ever, I'm talking about the prime years. Okay, I'll make it more clear next time. I apologize.
Like wine. I don't remember anyone in '96 saying, "Man, Michael Jordan really fell off because he doesn't attack the rim as much."
But MJ did. If you watch MJ in '93 and watch MJ in '96, '97, '98,
he was not Air Jordan.
He fell off. He wasn't the same. There's a clear difference.
That motherfucker was great.
He was not Air Jordan no more. No, he wasn't.
Hey, look, check it out. MJ regressing was still the best player in the world.
So are we using LeBron James?
MJ in '98 was still the best player in the world. He wasn't 92 MJ.
Yo,
there was a clear
player. If there's any player in the world in league history who can lose a little bit of their rim pressure and still be a superstar, it's Steph Curry.
Who said he's not a superstar? Who said that?
Ox is saying he might not be a top 10 point guard in the league.
But the point guard is the deepest position in basketball.
But there might just be 8 superstar point guards. Who knows?
There are not.
To him, there might be. You don't hold the baton to superstardom. You don't tell people who's superstars. Maybe Ox thinks they're all superstars. It's up to him. I don't know. The superstars are a subjective term. Who you think is a superstar doesn't mean they're a superstar.
I'm sorry. I hate how we do this where, you know, and it's not just the panel. Obviously, it's ESPN, it's Gills Arena, it's all these places. Every single time someone has a 20-game stretch that doesn't match what they used to do in their absolute apex, it's like, oh my God, bring out the retirement home. Steph Curry right now is a top 20 player in the league. No questions asked. I would put him a top 15 point player, probably, not point guard, player in the league. Okay. We're talking about one of the all-time greats. We're talking about one of the most moldable, adaptable, portable superstars ever. And right now, if he was playing on a team that was supposed to be good, if he's playing on a team with another star player, yeah. It's sorry.
About like it's really about like
you might be talking about, oh my God, he's beating Father Time. You might be talking about he might be first team, second team All NBA.
He is beating Father Time.
He's turning 37. Steph being still an elite player.
He's not a player who's like first of all, he's not a player that has a huge
and he said he didn't care. Like, damn, I was about to be on his sides, but he didn't want to listen. He just wanted to keep arguing. I was just about to agree.
Steph came to the league a little bit late. He had an injury ravage. If you are one of those people who subscribes to the idea of mileage, and I do, okay, there are certain players who beat Father Time, and then there are certain players who don't. Okay, Tracy McGrady didn't. There are certain players who take an extended load. Luol Deng, Joakim Noah. Basically, if you play for Tibbs, your career is going to get shortened by 3 years. So just a flash warning to everyone playing on the Knicks right now. But a guy like Steph Curry, who takes care of his body the way that he does, whose game is so jump shot finesse reliant, a player who has missed full seasons of his career. I mean, we're talking about what? In 2019, 2020, he played 5 games. I mean, we're talking about a guy who has played on deep, great teams where he hasn't had to shoulder the type of load that Michael did in those early years. His game has always been a little bit more finesse, so he doesn't take the beating every night that LeBron does. Yo, if there's any player who could still be a superstar at 39, it is Steph Curry.
But
it doesn't change that he's regressing.
Like, so like you just said that he's top 20, maybe top 15.
What to what?
Pin, just hear me though. You just said he was top 20. Yeah, exactly. So you just said
regressing from maybe the best player in the world, an MVP candidate, to an all NBA level player. That's a regression.
You said he's top 20, top 15. Just 2 seasons ago, we were talking about Steph top 3, top 5. So that's the regression. In 2 seasons, he's went from top 5 to top 15, arguably.
We're saying the guy's regressing. You're arguing while agreeing he's regressing. Like, it's like,
but the regression is not the level that people are saying here. The conversation we were having are players pushing him for top 10 point guard, and I think that's insane. That's all I'm responding to. I am not saying. Look, I never
started. Is he definitively?
I'm not saying Steph Curry.
I just ran the list down. I ran the list down.
You asked me.
I'm not saying.
I said 7 league guards. I can't get with that line. I'm not trying to hit 7 guards, 7 league guards.
You disagree with the 7 I told you to? Yeah. So you said Trey. You said Trey.
Let me ask this though. Let me ask this. And I know obviously situations make players, and obviously we know we can move Steph to about 8 to 10 other teams, and he will be much better than he is right now, just because the players he's playing with. But
even though he's awesome now, still, and he has progressed, but he's still awesome. Keep going.
In a hypothetical situation, if you move the 7 guys that Ox said to the Warriors, and they're asked to do more with that team that's not that great, do they look better than Steph?
Ja does. Luka and SGA do.
I think Jalen Brunson.
Trey does.
De'Aaron
and Jalen. Yes, they do. Yes, yes, they do. Yes. Yes, I think it's. Well, I don't got LaMelo, but I said,
I'm saying,
right. That's what I'm saying. I named 4 other guards that I don't got that I could see other people having. That's okay. I think the 7 I named. It's fair to say they're better. They're better.
I think Luka and Shea are obvious.
I don't think it's fair to say.
There's no longer Luka Shea Steph debates. There's no longer.
I want that part. That.
So
one more time.
Then it comes down to.
I'm saying, how is De'Aaron Fox better than Steph Curry? On what planet is that the case?
I think the athleticism.
Okay,
I think
the athleticism. Gerald Green's better than him. Jalen Green's better than him. Amen Thompson's better than him. If it's athleticism, yo, are we ignoring how Steph is guarded?
You just interrupted him while he was going. He started with athleticism. He was going to keep going, and then he was like, "Well, based on athleticism, Jalen Green, like, he wasn't finished. Let him finish."
Okay, but by the way, before you go, I just got a text from Dub, and he said you're cooking, Penn. He actually specifically said Penn is destroying y'all. Damn,
by saying Steph hasn't regressed but he hasn't regressed as much when all we're arguing is that he's regressed, but he's cooking. Okay, cool. But anyway, as you were saying, Chill, De'Aaron Fox is better because
his athleticism is his game. To be honest with you, in terms of his bucket game, I think De'Aaron Fox is 5th in the league in scoring, and that's largely due to him getting downhill, largely due to him speeding the game up, and that's largely due to his athleticism. So I think that's where the separator is with him. Curry, on the other hand, I feel like he's a lot smarter, even though he's older and he has slowed down. I feel like he's a lot smarter. His shot selection is a little bit better. When we're talking about offensively, I think his shot selection is a little bit better. And in that system that he plays in, I think it's more conducive to his game. But when I look at De'Aaron Fox, I'll give you the athleticism. I'm not taking him over Steph Curry. I'm not taking him over Steph Curry at this point. No. I don't think it's a wash. I don't think it's a wall. I don't think it's a huge separator, but I will take Steph, and not because of legacy. I think the shot selection, I think how Steph Curry still moves within the offense, and I think that his decision making, I think, is still better than what De'Aaron Fox does.
I think he's better than De'Aaron too. I think he's better.
If Steph Curry was playing pick and roll, pick and pop with Karl-Anthony Towns in New York, navigating pick and roll, creating space for Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart and all that stuff in Tibbs' offense, do you think the Knicks are better with Steph Curry than Jalen Brunson?
I don't think that's like that.
And conversely, do you think
Tibbs minutes at 36?
You don't have to play Tibbs minutes.
But Jalen
Brunson, he's gonna have to.
You just said you can't be like he doesn't have to. He's playing for Tibbs. He's gonna play Tibbs.
Can I just real quick before we get a little too far? I want to get back to De'Aaron Fox. There is something now. Don't kill me for this, but there's something that I think I would really take Steph over. Steph is going to maximize what he has on a play-by-play possession that I just don't think De'Aaron Fox does. I don't think De'Aaron Fox gets to the rim as much as I would like him to. His best ability is his speed, his shiftiness, his change of direction. If you look at his field goal attempts in the restricted area, they have gone down dramatically every year. He was at like 32%. And it's like, once again, we've talked about this before, but if you are not consistently killing the defense with what you do best, it's kind of sour. Because for example, Ja Morant, you know what he's going to do. He's going to attack the rim relentlessly, and it opens up stuff for his team constantly. Steph is going to be a consistent off-ball mover that opens stuff up for his team constantly. If De'Aaron Fox is letting the opposing team off the hook with mid-range shots when he's the fastest guy on the floor, probably the most shifty guy on the floor, it puts the offense in a bad position. And
that mid-range is money though. He takes whatever he wants.
I understand.
It's the reason why he averages 27.
It just so happens he wants mid-range shots more than shots at the rim at this point.
Right, and then on top of that, on the other end of the floor, De'Aaron Fox can actually guard somebody.
He's a better defender. He's a better defender.
I would definitely give him
another area where Steph's
offensively,
by far better defenders. Even there's a couple tiers in between. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple tiers in between. But I understand why y'all say he's better than De'Aaron. I'm not trying to argue that. Like that's just my list. I'm fine with him being over De'Aaron. My thing with the question that Penn asked is, who would would he be better in New York? But I think Jalen Brunson would be better with the Warriors.
I think at this point you need someone. I think you need someone who could take that larger offensive burden than Steph can at this point. Like especially over 82 games in a playoff series, it might be different because it's a smaller sample of games, so maybe you can get a fully energized Steph. I also I want to make it abundantly clear. I said, is it time to say Steph isn't definitively a top 3 point guard? He still might be the 3rd best point guard in the league. At best, he's 3rd though. He's no longer in conversations for 1 or 2. That's very clear. So that's still a regression. I just think you can now. We're at the point where now you can have Steph Brunson conversations. You can have Steph Dame conversations because that's where that started. Where Chill said Dame is a top 10 point guard, and I was just asking and he said Luka, Shea, Steph. You said Brunson, Trey, you said those names. And I was like, is there not a Dame and Steph conversation that's valid to have at this point? That's where this conversation started.
At this point, sure.
I think there is a valid conversation to have between Steph and Dame. And I think that's, once again, another sign of regression.
No, there ain't.
Steph is now gone from the best point guard in the league 3 years ago to now he's maybe the third, fourth, fifth best point guard in the league. Still an elite player, still an all-NBA level player, still the best shooter in the NBA, bar none. Just a very clear sign of regression that is expected when you are a 36-year-old small guard. Like, the fact that he's still elite at this age is a testament, but he's still regressing. And I think pointing out a player's regression is not an insult on them. LeBron James is regressing. Kevin Durant is regressing. James Harden has been regressing for 4 years. Like, it's fine to point out that guys who were elite 6 years ago are regressing, even if they are still elite. Like, I don't think regression automatically means bad or washed. Like, you can be regressing and still be better than someone who's actually peaking. You can be regressing and still be better than someone who's elevating. I think Steph is better than Cade. Steph is regressing, Cade is elevating. Like, the term regression and elevating or peaking doesn't necessarily mean you're better than someone else, because it depends on the level you're falling from. Steph is falling from the peaks of Mount Everest. So yes, even though he's
better than he was 4 years ago, or way worse? Is there a huge
way worse
gap?
Than he was 4 years ago. He's
way worse.
Steph 4 years ago, the 2020-2021 season, Steph
3
Curry,
years ago. My bad.
2022 Steph Curry?
Yeah.
That Steph Curry is, in my opinion, very clearly a top 6, top 7 player on the planet. Very clearly. This Steph Curry is a fringe top 10 player, by the way. And I think you have to be optimistic.
So he fell 4 or 5 spots.
Why do you think that's ridiculous in 3 years? In 3 years, that's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous in 3 or 5 years. I mean,
it's not even just
especially when you're getting older and you're regressing.
But it's more.
I don't care where you stack against the league. I care where you stack against yourself.
That's what goes back to the Michael Jordan point. MJ in 91 was maybe the best player to ever exist. That peak Michael Jordan might be the best player to ever exist. In 1998, he was still the best player in the world, but he had regressed.
It was not what he was in 92.
Regression is more than just your ranking in the NBA. Regression is about you as an individual compared to yourself. And compared to Steph's former self, he has severely regressed. Like I said, he's getting to the rim way less. His on-ball rim pressure and his on-ball ability to create advantages has severely lessened. Defensively, he's way worse. He's getting to the free throw line way less. He's relying on difficult shot making more than ever. And the fact that he's the best shooter in the league still means that difficult shot making is still extremely valuable for Steph. I think he's shooting like 42% from 3 on high volume. But when that's that much of your offense, as opposed to where it used to be, even off the ball, everything that we love Steph for, the off-ball movement, all of that, he's moving less off the ball now. Like, even you'll see more possessions where he's in the corner and he's not involved.
42%.
That wasn't happening as much 3-4 years ago. So even that is happening less. His minutes have gone down. You might say a part of that's because of depth. Some of it is, I think, they're trying to preserve their 36-year-old point guard. So he can play less minutes. He takes a less heavy on-ball burden. He moves around off the ball less. He's worse on defense. He gets to the rim less. He relies more on difficult shot making. He's very clearly regressing. And that's fine.
Going the other way.
But he's very clearly.
That's not a down season.
That's not a disservice to him. He's old. Like, let the man regress.
Is Giannis regressing?
Giannis
no. Why would Giannis be regressing?
No.
Pen, why would Giannis be regressing? I'm very interested in hearing this. Why would Giannis be going the other way?
I mean, if 92 Jordan regressed till 98, are you telling me Giannis is still the best player in the world? He's not the best player in the world right now. Okay, so he regressed. He went from number 1 to number 2.
No, but that's why I said
falling from number 1 to number 2 does not mean regression. It could mean elevating.
I literally said, I said verbatim. Regression is not about your ranking in the league. It's about you.
And then you proceeded to say Steph fell from a top 6 player to a top 10 player. So clearly,
how many players got better? In that span, how many players got better?
You said so. Steph fell 4 or 5 spots, and I said verbatim. Regression is not about your ranking in the league.
Giannis the defender he was 4 years ago? Hang on. No. I don't like this pick and choose, like a la carte.
I explicitly said that.
No, I don't like that either, Pin. But
you are picking and choosing. Look, first of all, you didn't see Michael Jordan in 96, 97, 98 live, right? You watch it in hindsight. But in fairness, Michael Jordan in 96, that jumper, that mid-post package, all that stuff. How do you compare that to the rim pressure that you're talking about? Yeah, he's not as athletic an athlete. He's not as athletic a defender, but he was very positionally sound. He was stronger. He put on like 15 pounds. Sure. He was way stronger. So he was a force at a different area of the court. What I'm trying to say is when we talk about the regression of superstars, we should talk about it more like the metamorphosis of two superstars. They adapt, they change. Because right now, I can make a very, very solid case that Giannis is not nearly the athlete he was when he was 26.
I agree.
He's still great.
Nearly?
No. You go back. You were 2019, Giannis.
No, Ron.
But nearly.
Yo,
nearly.
I don't think
he's not nearly.
Ron, he's taking 2 dribbles from the other foul line.
He just did that the other day. He just did that the other day.
When you're watching it unfold, it's like hard to notice like the difference. But if you go like Ron, I'm not saying go do this today. Like you might be busy. But if you go back and watch a 2019 Giannis game and then compare it to like what you're watching now, you'll see. Like,
but he's just
athleticism
is so much better.
Is he regressing or is he evolving? Here's the thing, right? Is he regressing or is he evolving? You take a look at Giannis's defensive impact, how he was able to switch his hips, how mobile he was as a defender at 25, 26. I thought sometimes when I was watching him, I might be watching one of the best defenders in the world. He's still a very, very good defender, but he has regressed a little bit. But where has he evolved? He's a much smarter player. His court awareness and his court processing is so much better. He's a smarter defender.
Keep going.
His mid post and mid-range package looks a lot better.
Y'all seen that last night?
Yes. So what I'm saying is, while he has regressed in one way, he has evolved tremendously in another way. And that's what great players do. When their advantages go away, they find new ways to be effective.
But where has Steph evolved?
Steph, I mean, honestly, Steph's game is one of those games that was always going to age like fine wine. He's a really smart player. He's an extremely good court processor, and he's a fantastic shooter. He's shooting better from three this year than he shot 4 years ago. He's shooting like 42, 43% from three. Yeah, he's finding ways to be efficient even when and maybe, you know, you think about it and you're like, okay, well, this guy's regressed because he's not attacking the rim as much and he's not whatever. Well, is the spacing a little bit different? Yeah. Is the personnel a little bit different? Hell yeah. Is it a little bit more difficult to attack the rim when you don't have KD and prime Klay Thompson out there spacing and creating those wider angles for you? Yeah. Are there players around him that have taken a massive regression? Hell yes. Is it harder to do this kind of stuff when you got a big, like, you know, Trace Jackson Davis down there? You got non-shooters on the court sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, the process has changed and maybe they are saving him a little bit more. Maybe the game plan is to play in fewer minutes, attack a little bit less to prevent injuries. But hell, that's perfectly fine. In a playoff series, I guarantee you, the slippage from 2021 Steph to 2025 Steph, if they get into a playoff series, it ain't going to be that much. It ain't going to be that much.
I also made that exact point too, because I said in a smaller sample of games, you can probably get a fully energized Steph who can reach a level that he can still get to. It's the same thing with LeBron. When we talk about these players regressing, it's not about small samples of games. Can they give you that for 6 games, 5 games? Sure, they can still give you that elite performance for 6 games, 5 games before they could give it to you for a whole regular season. Steph can't do that anymore. LeBron can't do that anymore. They have to take games off. They have to take
called regression, Pen.
I don't understand what's so hard.
LeBron regression.
The regression is real.
I can't do what I used to be able to do on a consistent basis.
I don't know how much.
That's why we're having this.
Steph is worse than he was. He's still elite. Like
that's why we're having, and I can't believe we're doing this. That's why I'm actually having the Dame Steph Curry conversation. I would never have that conversation because I never thought that Damian Lillard was
been a conversation.
Never he was better on any level.
That was a conversation.
When Steph was hurt. That was the only time.
Can we stop?
That was the only time that was a conversation. It was never a conversation at any other point.
It's been a conversation.
Any other point, he was never on the same
level.
Oakland,
it's been a conversation.
Never. Dame Lillard was never on the same level.
There were people when Portland Dame was lighting up the league, when Portland Dame was waving bye-bye to everybody, there were people who were like, what would Dame do with this much of a supporting cast?
I'm not trying to hear that logic that if you took Dame Lillard off that Trailblazer team and you put him on that Warriors team, they would be doing the same thing. No, the hell they wouldn't. Because he just got his action off the basketball.
We need to stop lying.
John, I'm not
two players.
We do got to move on.
People were comparing them, but I've also heard people compare PJ to
I got you, John.
Like using people's comparisons doesn't mean that it was a genuinely valid.
Nice swipe.
Right. It was never. I never looked at Steph Curry and Damian Lillard and thought that was a legit conversation.
All right,
fellas, we got to move on. Hold on, right quick though, John. Before you ask your question, I do want to say this because I've been trying to get this quote in. Steph Curry has actually kind of alluded to this. He said, quote, and I quote, "I want to do this for as long as I can, but the clock is ticking." And he's also made some other statements too, insinuating that it's just not the same at what it is. I think he said something like the end is near. He said that a couple weeks ago. So Steph is acknowledging that.
Why you make it sound like the apocalypse? What the hell?
That's what he said. I'm just saying
to Ron's point. Yeah, to Ron's point, it's like it's almost like an athlete recognizing his mortality. Like, I ain't got a lot of time left. The clock is ticking on me. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to do this like I'm doing it. So yeah, I can get with that. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Del John.
Quick question. Would you guys say LeBron James has fallen off a cliff compared to what he is now to 2017?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you say that compared to what Steph was in 2016 to right now, he has fallen off a cliff?
Yes.
Hell no.
Oh my God.
See,
I think the fall is farther from LeBron.
That's what I'm getting at. They have both. They're both not close to what they were in their best years. They're both not close to what they were in their best years. So even acknowledging that, you can still come to the conclusion that they are top 15 players. Because in the end of the day, their highs are some of the highest in basketball history. So when you say they've fallen off a cliff, falling to a top 15 player, when you were at that height, it's kind of like just recognizing that they fell off, but they're still a top 15 player. You can't say,
why do we do this? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Look, Steph was playing with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson. I got to tell you, that's going to make you more efficient. Playing with peak Draymond is going to make you more efficient. Playing with Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala, I don't see those players around, okay? If right now you put Steph Curry next to Giannis Antetokounmpo and, Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez in the Eastern Conference, he'll give you 66% true shooting again. It's not like he's fallen off as a shooter that much. He's fallen off a little bit as an athlete. He's fallen off a little bit as a defender. He was never a great defender.
So you think? Let's actually get to so you think if Steph Curry had 2016, 2017 level help, he could replicate 2016 Steph.
No,
right now.
I think he would be a lot closer to what he had. When you hear me out. I know we have a habit of interrupting each other. Give me 1 minute to just land this.
I'm listening.
Can y'all get a brother a minute?
LeBron's supporting cast today is not significantly worse than the supporting casts he's had throughout his career. We're talking first stint Cleveland, second stint Cleveland, early in the Lakers' career. This is not that abnormal. The difference is LeBron James himself is not capable of carrying. Steph's supporting cast has fallen off a friggin' cliff at this point, right? When you look at Steph Curry's supporting cast, we had multiple Hall of Famers. I don't see another Hall of Famer other than considerably washed Draymond Green, who does not have nearly the defensive impact that he used to, doesn't have nearly the floor-raising impact that he used to. So I'm seeing a team that, frankly, is failing to live up to their superstar, as opposed to a superstar who's failing to replicate his production from 5 years ago. I'm sorry. I don't see him falling off a cliff because LeBron has always been that player who can carry a weak roster deep into the playoffs, even to the finals. We saw it early in his career. Right now, he is not the same floor-raising defender. His defensive impact went from best defender in the league to one of the worst defenders in the league. How do you do that? That's called falling off a cliff. You comparing that level of regression to what Steph is right now? Come on now. Steph Curry's supporting cast is falling off a cliff.
We got to move on. We talked about Steph for 30 minutes, which was a good conversation, but we got to keep it pushing, y'all. It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. The player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.